Hello, welcome back to Tenant 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to Tenant 10. Tenant 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Grow West, the Technology Council of West Kentucky, KY Innovation, and local partners Sprocket Innovation in Paducah and the Kentucky Innovation Station in Madisonville. So welcome back to episode 164 of Tenant 10, and today we are looking at the news. Today we're going to be a little bit ransomware heavy. I guess we are some weeks. We're also going to look at a new framework, updated framework rather, that just came out. So let's just dig into it. And this first one is a really concerning trend that I wanted to highlight. This article came out on the 23rd Info Security magazine, and a lot of times over the years, the reason that people would pay the ransomware, if you get hit with ransomware, why would you pay? One of the reasons why is that if you pay, they leave you alone. If you pay, you get your data back and they mosey on down the street and they harass somebody else. That's why a lot of people pay. They pay because if you pay the ransom, you get what you pay for and they leave you alone. That trend has started to end. 78% of organizations in a recent cost of business study in 2024, 78% of organizations suffer a repeat ransomware attack after paying the ransom. After paying the ransom, 78% said they get hit with ransomware again. Of those 78% that suffer a repeat ransomware attack, 36% of those get hit from the same threat actor. 42% are from a different. So if you look at that number, half of the ones that are almost half of the ones that get hit with ransomware from the if they get a repeat ransomware attack, it's from the same people. So it's like they understand they got $150,000 out of you this time, but let's hit you again and try to get 200,000, or let's hit you again and try to get $1 million. And so that value proposition is it's not even the right term. The term I want to use, that component is not even there for you to consider. Less than half, 47% actually reported that they got their data and services back uncorrupted, and that emphasizing that paying is generally not the solution. So of those that paid, just under half got their data back in a usable format. So the challenge is, what do you do? Do you pay or not pay? The official guidance is certainly not to pay. Is that the best thing for your business? A year or two ago, maybe that would not have been the best thing. Today, maybe it is. But now the ransomware gangs know this, so now they're stealing data. And there was a story that we may not get to today where they released some data to prove that they had it, claiming that they had a lot more data on the back end that if you don't pay, we'll release. So it's a real challenge. And at the same time, I think from the same study, a different report from Arctic Wolf, saw that the ransomware, the median ransomware demands reached 600,000 in 2023, a 20% rise. And if you look at this chart here, that this is this is looking at what that number is, and energy. Now, this is median, so it's the middle of all the ransomware. So there's bigger ones, there's smaller ones. Depending on your organization size, are you going to be on the bigger side or the smaller side? There's a lot of variables that go into it, but just understand it's up 20%. The sector that with the highest is energy and natural resources at $2 million per incident. Let me back up. That is the initial ransomware demand. If you talk to folks that specialize in ransomware response. They'll tell you not to pay the initial demand, negotiate. It is ridiculous that I'm even saying this, but there is a negotiating component of ransomware now. 1.5 million for retail and $1 million for legal and government. Finance and insurance is 900,000. Education, nonprofit, 650,000. Business services, 600,000. That's where you get to the median. Those under the median average is technology, manufacturing, shipping and logistics, construction, healthcare, and other. But the point is that number is increasing. That number is increasing. And then the last thing I'll point out in this article that they talked about was that business email compromise scams are going up as well. The average business email compromise, we've talked about what that means. I'm sure we'll talk about that again. But it's where a threat actor uses email faking like they're one of your employees to attack somebody, whether it's you or somebody else on your company. Sometimes it's convincing them to transfer money. Anyway, that's up to $4.67 million per incident in 2023. That's a ridiculous, crazy number to think about. And unpatched vulnerabilities are the leading cause of cybersecurity incidents. Yes, there's a human factor element. There's a lot of those pieces, but understand that that's a big piece of it. In 2024, the cybersecurity incident number globally is predicted to go up to $9.5 trillion worldwide. It's a 19% rise in percentage rise in that dollar amount. By 2030, it's going to rise all the way up to $17.9 trillion is the prediction. If you want to put that in some really interesting ways, it is expected that cybercrime is going to cost worldwide $302,000 US dollars per second. $26 billion a day is the cost of cybercrime. That's a lot. So without going into more news, bad news, I guess, of this week, I want to spend the last couple of minutes talking about the NIST version 2.0 of the cybersecurity framework. 2014, the NIST put out what an initial framework could look like. They've updated it since then, but this is the first major update. And I want to highlight, we're going to spend full episodes on 10 at 10 talking about the NIST framework in the future. But for now, what I want you to understand is what the big piece is that changed. And this is what the framework looks like. And we've had various levels. If you look at the outer circle of this, identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. We've had those components. And what NIST would always say is that you need policies to address these different components. But the govern was not its own category. And now there is this governance that wraps the entire framework. And what that means, and the way that I like to talk about this, is that if a few weeks ago I talked about creating policies for your organization, if you don't know what you're protecting, or you don't know the standard, if you don't know the requirements of your protection, then how do you know what to do? I don't want anybody to just go buy a firewall or just add passwords because Michael said add passwords. I want you to add passwords. I want you to add a firewall, but I want you to do it because you have this overarching governance, risk, compliance, GRC, that you have this overarching governance policy that says this is the policy that we should follow in our organization. If you're not doing that, then you're missing a step. We'll talk more about this in the weeks ahead, the months ahead. You're going to you frankly can't stand it. But I do want to make sure that I touch on that's out. You can take a look at it. It'll be linked in the notes. And take a look and see what you think. If you have questions on that and you want some help on what to do, how to get started on it, reach out, let me know, and I'm happy to help. Thank you for joining this week on 10 at 10, and I'll see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you.